We're about to take it back.
Okay.
Talkin Loud Podcast. And we're back. There's always Diesel Dog. You know we always got that Diesel. And we're back for another episode because we got a very special guest with us today. Because I know all you guys feed your plants. You got to feed your plants, man. Some type of nutrients. And with us today, I got one of the best grow stores out in Colorado, if not the entire U.S. Because we're hanging out with Cultivate Colorado. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Matt? Nice to see you. Thanks for having us.
Hell yeah, man. Most definitely, dude. I think I was just telling you off air, dude. Since I moved to Colorado, you guys have been my spot, dude. Like straight up. I hit you guys up. You guys got everything I need. I don't often like to, buy stuff online if I can support, my local grocery store, man. So I'm super excited to have you guys on. And you guys also got a few things going on that I'm stoked to, talk about as well. But before we actually get into all that, man, just tell me how you're doing, man. What's going on? What's popping? What's good?
Doing good. It's a nice day in Colorado. It's starting to get a little cooler now. Fall season's here, harvest season's here, which is always exciting.
Yeah.
Having customers coming in, giving us some samples, showing off their work, stuff like that. It's always nice to see.
That's the best part, man. And everyone loves sharing that harvest. And I think that's amazing, especially when you go out to some of these shows, which is actually where we linked up a few times, out of some of these shows and stuff. And yeah, man, everyone loves to share that harvest and just show off that fire that they're growing at home, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, absolutely. I think we probably met at like a CannaCon for the first time, but any time for the community to get together and everybody share what's going on is cool. Sometimes it's a little too territorial, too much business, you just need to sit down and enjoy other people's work.
Literally, dude. Well, that's so true, man. And that's one of the things we're going to get in today, man, because I know a lot of you guys on the show right now are growing that fire. A lot of people locked in the chat already. We got over 100 people in the live show right now. So everyone smash that like, show some love. We got Cultivate Colorado on here, and we're going to be bringing you guys a banging episode, man. And we got some great questions coming in. And of course, we got to shout out the ICANN fam, man. The ICANN fam is popping the VIP Bean Club. If you guys want some of those fire genetics, we just got some new ones going in out to all VIPs. Upgraded gold cards for VIPs. Like, guys, don't miss out. Join up with the ICANN fam. Hit that link in the description below and join up. Show some love. And if you don't want fire genetics, you can always cop a Diesel Dog hoodie or a t-shirt. Just show some love. ICANN fam merch is on the Diesel Dog website, man. But like I said, today is a live FAQ, guys. So if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. We got some already from the ICANN fam over on Patreon that I can't wait to get into. But before we actually kick off on that, man, I had a few guests that came onto the show recently, and I was just telling you, dude, a few of them are growing some fire, and they're growing that fire, and they're actually entering it into a competition that you guys are hosting, right? The Showdown. So tell us a little bit about the Showdown, man. Let's kick the show off on a banging fucking note, dude.
We got the Showdown 3 coming out. I got one of the hats here, official hat. It's the third one we've done. It's basically a bring your own, bring the best competition.
Yeah.
We'll open up to the public. Everybody can enter 1 ounce, and then everybody gets together at this party.
Yeah.
Equal votes for everybody. We just have a big showdown. At the end of the night, we give away $1,000 cash prize to whoever the winner is. But really, it's cool just to see the community come together. Everyone gets to smoke all the best of Colorado, best of medical market, recreational market, you name it.
That is so much fire, man. And you guys have actually been doing this for a while now. This is a 3rd iteration. So tell us a little bit about the past events. Like, how did that run? Like, what was the fire like that some of those growers had, man?
Oh, man, it was all. So, I mean, as with any event, throwing it, you come across hurdles you didn't know you were going to have at first. The first one, we didn't do it like we were trying to do social media, judging and shit like that. And it really did not work, So we kind of scrapped that. And for the second one, did this token system where everybody gets an equal vote. Everybody that enters gets to bring a couple people to the show. And it seemed like it worked out great that way. Everyone gets to go walk around, touch all the jars. We got bud tenders hooking people up with little samples. You could try all 100. You could try 20, And then, So, and also just like the first one we did, the winner was Granola Funk.
Okay.
Which was super new at the time. Nobody really heard of it. And just blew everyone's mind out of the water. And this last one, 2 of the top 3, first and third place, were both Gary Payton. So everybody wanted the
Gary
gas.
Payton, man. I literally got a Gary Payton cross right now. I was thinking maybe I should pop this. I got some of that white Gary, man. So I'm super excited. Maybe I should. You just changed my mind a little bit. I was on the fence. Maybe you just pushed me over the fucking fence, dude.
that's what we do these events for. We want people to come and see, and maybe Gary Payton's like a commercial strain. Some people talk down on it, this and that, but
Yeah.
like, dude, it's the heat, and like we don't tell people what the strains are. It's all numbered and anonymous. So
Yeah,
you
no one
go in
actually
there, and when
knows.
everybody votes for it, it's got to be good.
Yeah, I got you, man. Well, that's what's up, man. We actually got a lot of people, I think, in Colorado in the chat right now. I'm actually seeing someone actually saying they're from Colorado. I'm seeing Baltimore. So, guys, drop it in the chat. Let me know where you guys are tuned in from. Let me know if you guys are in the US. Let me know if you guys are outside of the US. Just drop it and let me know where you guys are. And of course, let me know what you guys are smoking on, what sort of fire you guys are growing. Because Rouge Goofy Growing asked it already, and he said he's smoking on some purple rhino, man. And some of
Oh,
these
that
crazy
sounds good.
names that they got out there, I can't wait to find out what's going on.
Larry Payton.
How many strains are going to be popping up at this event, the showdown, dude? Oh, I think we've just got a little. Okay, he's back. Awesome, yeah, man. But we've got Colorado in
Entries
the house.
popping in, and it's heat and everything. Strains I've heard of, strains I haven't heard of. I
Yeah,
always love seeing the new stuff. Seems like
yeah,
the runch crosses are popular right now.
yeah, for
Gelato
sure.
crosses are still pretty hype. Gary
Runs.
crosses, yeah.
Yeah. Man, so many freaking crosses, dude. And the beautiful thing is that a lot of these crosses I find when I look out at them, they're just getting newer and they're just getting so much nicer. And the trichome bills are getting so much more defined and really great to see, just really great to see how far everything is coming. But at the base of all that, dude, like let's be real. Without having some proper feeding schedules and nutrients, of course your plants will grow, but you can't pull out the best out of them. And it's all about pulling the best out of them. So tell us a little bit about what Cultivate does, because you guys have got tons of stuff, man.
Yeah, man. So we're a hydro store, but we're way more than that, man. We help people with irrigation build outs, room build outs, feeding strategies,
Yeah,
IPM schedules, cleaning
yeah,
schedules, everything you would need to operate successfully.
yeah,
Um, with all the feeding that's going on now, it's all about crop steering. People want to be able to maximize their feedings, maximize their plant, maximize their yield.
yeah.
You know,
True.
increase your terpenes, increase your THC percentage. So
Yeah,
that's been cool to see. I know like companies like the Front Row Ag and Athena, they've really been going above and beyond to like help the customer dial in their feeding, dial in their environment, and you
yeah.
see it. You see the work that's get out into the streets, and it's great.
Yeah, one thing I love about what you guys do as well, like specifically you guys, because you see a lot of hydro stores, grow shops and stuff like that. They want to sell you product, right? They want to sell you tons of product and have you coming back, which is absolutely fine. That's how the business works. But what I see you guys do is that you guys take the time to explain to the growers what they need, what will actually help them in their grow. Take the time to see, okay, where are you guys at in your grow? And even on you guys' social media, you guys post tons of social media. I see you on there all the time, and you guys have some great things that you guys be posting, just help the growers out in terms of choosing the right products, because there are tons of products out there, man. And on that note, I just wanted to, sort of take a pivot and ask a question that came in from one of the ICANN VIPs, man. And shout out to Daniel Eriks, man. He says, any ballpark nutrient suggestions for newly rooted clones? He's heard that they should be on whatever the mom was on, but always looking for best practices and more knowledge. So this is a question about clones, and what they should be basically using, when they
Yeah,
first
man.
start.
Yeah, for sure. So once your clone's got roots, it's ready to start being fed.
Yeah,
I know a lot of nutrient companies will have like a clone solution that would be like what you could treat your blocks with before they root. But
yeah,
once they root, you want to go to a light feeding, and you know, I'm of the belief that you want to start feeding plants as soon as they can take it. And
yeah.
also, when you have a newly rooted clone, you want to introduce all the beneficial bacteria, whether it's mycorrhiza, maybe it's a mammoth
True.
product, maybe it's rapid start,
Yeah,
something that the roots are gonna, I mean, bigger roots, bigger fruits.
literally.
If you can start at the base, you're gonna have good success. But I would say, start with a low base and work your way up as your plants need it. But
Yeah,
plants, they're gonna need it right from the beginning.
yeah.
No plant's too young if it has roots to be fed.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Because I've been using like a little cloner. So shout out to Adam for asking, Daniel, my bad for asking that question. But I've got a little like small hydro cloner that I pretty much made myself, and I found that I use Clone X clone solution, but when that's pretty much consumed by the roots, I start to notice deficiencies real quick, even with that hydro cloner. So it's always a good idea to get that nutrients in early when those roots start to form, because it's always easier to have a healthy plant where you can transition into a veg stage rather than have a plant that is a little seedling, a little cutting that has roots, but it's also facing deficiencies. Because trust me, bro, I've gotten plants that root like a lot of roots, and you've got yellowing leaves up top, and shit looks
Yeah,
like it's almost rotting, and it doesn't look good until you pop it into some soil and it can really reset pretty much.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. And like a lot of soils have a nutrient package in it already,
Yeah,
the ocean forest, happy frog, that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
even within a couple weeks of that, you still want to be feeding it. Plants want to be fed,
for
and that's
sure.
like it comes back full circle with your environment. The better environment you have, the more your plant's going to want to eat, the more you're going to be able to feed it, the bigger
Yeah.
yield you're going to get.
Yeah, I agree, man, fully. And like, with all the different options that they also have nowadays, I think that it's really useful when growers can find something that works for them. So for me, I found like, the Clonex solutions work great for me, but there are also people who use like some of the other options that they are out there, just sort of missing my brain right now. But there are tons of them, dude. You can just find what works for you, and
Oh
there's no
yeah,
right or wrong way to do things, right?
Clonex is like that's industry standard.
Yeah.
Everybody uses that. It's like Botanicare cow mag. It's
Yeah.
like there's 1,000 different cow
Literally.
mags. Everybody use the Botanicare. It's been the standard. I think what a lot of people don't know is that you can use like say you're using Athena, you can use a low dosage rate and use that for cloning as well.
Yeah.
It's just mixing the different parts as they recommend. And I always say always check with the manufacturer before doing anything.
Yeah.
But chances are they've done it and they know what the reaction is going to be, and if it's good, they're going to be promoting it.
For sure. I agree with that, man. And like I said, like, if there are other options out there and you guys want to, play around with it a little bit, it's all about what works for you, man. Because the funny thing is, like, I've seen people win second place, third place, first place in competitions and stuff, and their feeding schedules have been like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of organics, a little bit of synthetics, a full synganic approach, and they're just growing some fire, dude. So there's no
Yeah,
one book that says, you got to do it all this way or you're wrong, right?
for sure. And that's the thing is, in the past there was a book. People
Yeah.
would sell you a book, and it was like you
True.
got to do it this way, and they're a little outdated now. I like to
Yeah.
take information from everybody, put it together. Make my own decision there at the end of the day. But I'm a big fan of synthetics and organics.
Yeah.
You'll get the yield, you get the THC potency, but to get those flavors and get those like actual rich terpenes coming out of it, you need some organics in there, even if it's just like a bud swell or
Yeah.
using some beneficial bacteria. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure, man. And one thing I would say, like you mentioned it like twice or three times already, man. Like even if you're running synthetics, try the synganics approach, and get some of that beneficial bacteria in there. And there are a lot of different ways you can do that, man. And you guys always, are repping that recharge, man. I see you guys have got
Yeah.
tons of like, pictures on your IG with the recharge, like the finger touching the recharge, looking like Harry
Yeah.
Potter holding that shit up, bro. Like, yeah, literally. But
Yeah.
like, tell us a little bit about recharge, man, because that's literally something I see a lot of people come on and they say it's so great, and it's something that you can really get that bacterial life sort of going, right?
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way to describe it's like a I don't know, like a super pack of stuff.
Yeah,
It's got a bunch of different bacterias and beneficials inside of it. And it also has, like a carb source. It's got molasses. It's got a couple other things in that will feed those right from the beginning. Because
yeah,
a lot of times, like Great White's an awesome product, but if you aren't feeding the right stuff to feed the actual bacteria, it's not going to be at its full potential. Recharge is awesome, made in Colorado as well.
hell yeah,
Colorado company. We always try to support Colorado companies as much as we can. It's been
yeah,
around since the beginning. It's also great if your plant's having deficiencies. If you're like, I don't know what's going on, I need to reset. Do a base watering, water it with recharge,
yeah.
get some of that root zone back to where it should be, and then start giving it the nutrients again.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is that a lot of people actually use different types of mycorrhiza, which is cool. I love using
Yeah,
mycorrhiza; I use it all the time. But Recharge also has some mycorrhiza built in there, some dry molasses, so it has a lot of different stuff that you get. So it's like a little power package, man, and it really
yeah.
fucking works, dude.
Super pack, man. It works. A
Oh
little
yeah,
bit goes a long way too.
a little bit definitely goes a
And you
long
don't have
way.
to feed it every feeding. You're only feeding it. When I do recharge, I feed it every 2 weeks, because
You
it's
see
gonna
what I'm saying, guys? So it makes your shit last, bro. That's what's
yeah,
up.
yeah.
But
Another good
definitely,
product with that like organic synthetic mix that we've been selling a ton of is from Roots Organic. They make this stuff called Terp tea.
yeah,
And
I
it's
heard
just an
about the turp
organic
tea.
powdered tea. You sprinkle on top of your soil. You can make a tea out of it for a 24-hour brew. And I mean, just they make a grow and a bloom. If you're looking just for increased terpenes, go with the bloom. If you're
Yeah.
looking for all around plant health, go with the grow before the bloom. But little products like that, they're cheap, easy to add in. They work with every nutrient company. You know, anything.
That's the
It's
beautiful
never going to
thing
be
about it, man.
detrimental.
Yeah, they literally work with everything. So even like shout out to Scotty, man. Scotty's out here in Colorado. He's always at you guys' events as well too. And we got to support the Recharge fam, man. So if you guys want, grab some of that Recharge, hit that discount code
Oh yeah.
ICANN support Scotty, support the fam, and show some love, man. Scotty's always showing love, and we always like to show love back. So big ups to Matt and at ICANN says Scotty, man, and we appreciate his love and
And he
support. But
throws awesome events too. If you haven't
hell
been to
yeah,
any of his events, dude, must go to, because it's from all over the country. You'll have
absolutely,
people
man.
from Pennsylvania all the way to Seattle. So it's
The
cool to see
DGC
that.
Cup and stuff is always rocking,
The
man. It's
DGC
always
Cup is
rocking.
rocking. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shit, man. But like I said, you guys have got some great events as well. So, guys, definitely look out for their events next time they got one going on. The showdown is coming up pretty soon, though. When is the showdown
Yeah.
actually going to be?
The Showdown 3 is next, not this Saturday, the following Saturday, October
Showdown.
21st.
Yeah,
It's going to be in the afternoon. We host it at one of our stores. It's
yeah,
a big party. We're close to capacity for entrance, but if you want to enter, please reach out to us via Cultivate Supply on Instagram, call us into one of the stores, or even just bring your entry into the store.
yeah.
We got a quick little intake form. It gets you tickets to the party as well. It's
Dope.
a blast. Yeah, but we'll do a fourth one probably next. I would say probably next spring, and we've talked about doing maybe like a hash off type of
Yeah.
thing, which is one we haven't
Sweet.
done before.
That's
So
dope.
something like that would be cool.
Yeah, man. So guys, definitely try to get in. Slide in before the entries are filled up, right? So try to slide in those DMs and try to get in there. And if you can't, then definitely look out for the next one, man. Showdown 4. So definitely look out for that. They got some great stuff going on. And I think I seen someone drop a comment saying there's only 89 likes. Like that can't be accurate, man. You guys got to smash the like. What's going on? Hit that like and show some love. Now, one other question that came in from one of my other ICANN fam homies. Shout out to Sim Tenant, man. My man Sim. What up, homie? How's it going, man? But yeah, he was asking what's the best nutrients for autos. Now, autos is something that's a little bit controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. But one thing that can't be denied, dude, is that a lot of people are growing them. Tons of people are growing autos. So when it comes to the autos, like what would you say about nutrients? Like what's the best type of nutrients? Do they need a lot, maybe a little bit? Is there any brand that works? Like how do you
Dude, I
go about
mean, you could choose pretty much any nutrients with the autoflowers. The
Yeah.
like you said, I used to not be a real believer of the autoflowers, but the last couple of years I've had my mind changed because people are growing some absolute heat with autoflowers.
Yeah.
The breeders are getting better. They're mixing in multiple flavors.
Yeah,
I'd get
dude.
handed a jar and I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, that is great autoflower.
Right. Is that
And
really an auto?
yeah, right. But you gotta love the ease of it too.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people kind of question about the nutrients, because the plants, no matter what
Yeah.
your life cycle is, you're not really going to get a veg or fiber. You just got to pay attention to your plant and feed it what it needs. You know,
Literally.
if it's not budding, you probably want to be feeding it, veg nutrients. And
Yeah.
as soon as you start to see like, oh, it looks like there's some development, you want to switch over. It's
Yeah.
not like a one shoe fits all, because they're going to have different flower times, different veg times.
Yeah. It
But
all changes.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a big fan of the front row ag, the Athena nutrients,
Yeah.
and then mixing in some synthetics. Also, like Canna nutrients, you can't go wrong with.
Yeah. Can is pretty
I
good
love
too.
their additives. I know a lot of people are moving away to cheaper bases, but
Yeah.
Canna's additives, that boost is untouchable. Same with Rhizo.
Yeah. So true, man. Now, when it comes to like those autos, because you mentioned that have you been growing them lately? Like, have you grown any lately?
We've worked on some projects where we've done autoflowers, like big autoflower outfield in
Yo,
Missouri,
fuck.
Michigan, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, just incredible
So
flower.
what's like the secret to keep it from like, flipping to flower too early, bro? Like, how do you keep that shit from, how do you keep it in veg as long as humanly possible? I know
See,
it's on
that's
the time
yeah,
cycle, but like
that's the
how?
one that I haven't been able to find, and we've honestly got it more focused on the when do we want it to finish.
Yeah,
Picking your
got you.
part in the summer and being like, hey, if we plant a seed on April 1st, it
Yeah,
might not be ready by May 1st. But hey, if we
yeah,
plant the seed on May 1st, we're gonna have that weed harvested in the middle of July. You
yeah,
know, so it's like it really depends on the plant and the flower and where you are, your climate. It's totally different in Michigan than it is in Missouri than it is in Oklahoma. you
Yeah.
know,
Or even here in
oh,
Colorado.
or even here in Colorado. Yeah, Northern California, where it all started, is the most
Yeah.
perfect environment for all any of that. But you can
Yeah.
still make it happen in Maryland,
True.
like,
It's
and
facts.
it's yeah, the
Now, I've seen
autoflower game has come a long way
it's
though.
come a long way, man. I've seen some people literally dropping some comments in the chat right now, and they're actually making a lot of sense because in my experience, I think I would agree with this. Like autos are light feeders, you don't want to go too heavy. My first auto, dude,
Yep.
I fed it like if it was a photo period, man, and that shit was zorked within like 24 hours, had orange leaves, shit was
Yep.
looking not too good, like those orange rust spots everywhere. Yeah, shit was looking pretty bad. So a lot of people actually saying, you can feed them probably like 4 times total. They're light feeders, but what I would say is like, just go light. No matter what nutrients you're using, no matter what nutrient line you're using, maybe try a quarter strength or a half strength. Don't hit it too hard because it may not have time to recover.
Exactly, because the plant it doesn't have that 4 8 week veg. It's got 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It doesn't
literally.
have the 12 week total life cycle. So everything you do is really gonna have a reaction on the plant as soon as it
Yeah.
happens.
And some people actually even say that, the tap roots play a big role when it comes to the auto. So if you're growing in like a little pot and the tap roots hit the bottom of that pot, that triggers flowering. That's why sometimes, when the growers are growing them outdoors, you get some really nice, big, massive outdoor auto flowers. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I'm not sure if that's proven or if that's bro science. I don't know. Don't quote me on
Yeah, I
it.
think there's something to the taproot for sure. But like I said, I've seen it done in small pots, big pots. Different applications though too. Like we've
Yeah.
got an early harvest out in in that
Yeah.
May to June, like kind of like what people would do light dep, but do it with autoflower,
Yeah. I
or
know what you
do a
mean.
light dep and do the autos after. So it's like
But that's
you got to
interesting shit.
you got to use your space and your time.
Yeah, makes sense. And what about like some of those fast flowering strains, man? Like some of those that bring the auto traits, but it's a photo period. So you get some of those fast flowering photo period strains. Like I think Fast Buds has done like a Gorilla Glue cross like that, I think. And some other companies have done it, man. You run any of those fast flowering ones?
Oh yeah, yeah, and some other the photosensitive, I guess, is what people have been calling them. Dude,
Yeah.
those rock too, because the sooner you can get out, the better.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are on even like Purple Punch, man. Like it's not a directed that way, but I mean, it is a photosensitive plant. You could pull
Yeah,
that.
true.
I know people that were pulling that the first week of September. You know,
Shit.
you
Man,
know.
and it's crazy because you actually like you've been so far just how you've been speaking like a lot about the harvest times and the times of the month, so that leads me to think that you've done a lot of outdoor growing, dude. Have you?
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Humboldt County. Yeah, yeah. I
Sweet,
went Arcata High graduate. I grew up
bro, dope as fuck.
around the beast. So as soon as we were 15 years old, we were trimming in a grow or hand
Yeah,
watering on the weekends or getting sent out to faraway lands to take care of crops that were probably too big for us at the time. But you know, at
yeah,
that up there, you kind of just get thrown in the mix, and that's
dope.
what it is. That's the life.
Yeah, I got you. So if you had like one tip for any outdoor growers right now, because I know there are a lot of growers who grow indoors, but right now I know there's some people locked in from different parts of the world. Like I seen a homie from Trinidad and Tobago. Shout out Trinidad and Tobago. That's where I'm from, and he's definitely probably growing something outdoors with that beautiful weather. So when you were growing outdoors in Humboldt, where there's also beautiful weather, like what would one tip that you have for people, man? Give them something, man.
Man, the best tip for outdoor, and they go hand in hand. Don't grow more than you can dry,
Yeah,
because it sucks when you
interesting.
you grow all these huge plants, then you only got a small barn to dry it in. It's sitting there rotting in the field. You know, that's number one. Don't grow more than you can dry, or you can freeze.
Yeah,
And also, don't grow more than you can feed, because like sometimes when you're in outdoor, the water is a scarcity. You
facts.
don't want to plant too big of a garden and then not be able to feed it later in the summer, or be
Got you.
struggling and bringing in water.
Yeah,
There's a secret, a secret to that, and also labor. I know some grows are smaller, some are bigger, but I've seen people get way too big and then they don't have the labor to do it, and then
yeah.
you're just ending up growing plants that are never going to get harvested.
Literally, I feel you on that one. I man, that water point is pretty interesting. So to like retain water, a lot of people use like cover crops. So shout out to Thomas, he's dropped
Yep.
cover crop in there. Is cover crop something that a lot of people use in those situations?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure. It's the only way you can make it to make it
Fuck
last.
yeah, because then that shit dries up super fast, right?
For sure. But I said the bigger the plant, the more water you're going to need throughout the season.
Yeah,
If you could plug into the back of your house, it's no big deal. But
yeah,
if you're out on a farm and you got a well, and I've been in the situation where it's like, our well couldn't keep up to the field that we were growing as we were
Yeah.
growing hemp. So it's like we had to
Damn.
make the decision not to feed part of the field and focus on this other part, just because you can only fit so much water through a 2-inch pipe. You know.
Literally. Oh man, on the flip side now, like, when it starts to rain and shit like that, that's probably a downfall. How do you like cover your plants from those buds, or do you just let them take that flower or like that rain?
Yeah, I love a greenhouse, man. Like if you can put up a greenhouse, even a
That's
small one,
ideal.
you're gonna get a better yield. You know, you
Yeah.
maybe not get the biggest as big a plant because you're gonna be restricted to the greenhouse size.
Yeah.
But when the weather does change, a couple years ago it snowed on September 4th.
Yeah, dude.
Everybody's fields died because they're all.
Wow.
So and you can't cover 2 acres,
Nah.
overnight. You know.
Yeah, it's so true. That's big facts, bro. Big, big, massive, huge facts. And out in Trinidad, they don't have snow, but they have like a
Yeah.
rain season. So they actually call it dry season and rainy season. So during that rainy season, your shit's getting rain every single day, bro. So you're probably gonna get some butter out in your ass for sure.
Exactly. And then comes the things, like if you have the risk of it,
Yeah,
spray them with an oxyphos or something that's going to penetrate into the bud, evaporate, not leave anything behind, and actually kill that mold.
yeah,
Because
gotta do that, man.
you can have, especially the biggest things to watch out for are like the big temperature swings.
Yeah,
If it goes from being 80, 80, 80 every day, and then it's 56 and raining, and then back to 80 the next day,
yeah.
you're going to be growing mold instantly.
And you don't want to grow mold, bro. That's
No, no,
honestly
no.
that's a killer, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, I loving how this conversation is going so far, man. So guys, definitely smash that like. We got tons of great questions coming in, man. But before I actually, transition to a couple more of those questions, I really wanted to get into the Know Your Bud segment, man. Because you and I, man, I feel like we've been hanging out for a while. I've seen you all the time in the shop. I've seen you all the time at like the events and
Hello?
stuff, man. Yeah, can you hear me, dude? Or did you just cut out? Did I cut out? Did you cut out? Who cut it out? I don't know.
I'm here, so I don't know what
Okay.
happened there. Yeah, yeah, we're back.
Okay. I was just saying, man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh man, I was just saying, man. Like I feel like you and I've been hanging out for a while, dude. Honestly, like I met you out at the store, I met you out at a couple of the events and stuff, man. And we always just have like a good rapport and shit, man. So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to get you on the Know Your Bud segment, and the Know Your Bud segment, dude, is like a dope little segment. I call it the Know Your Bud segment because everyone that comes onto the show, I like to say is my bud. And I like to find out what you do with your buds. That's
For
all,
sure.
man. That's all it is. And I'm just going to hit you a few multiple choice questions, almost like you're back in school. And you just got to tell me what's your preference and why. That's it.
Easy, easy.
Easy, bro. Nothing to it, man. So, guys, smash that like. We got Cultivate on the Know Your Bud segment, man. So, when it comes to germination, dude, like, what's sort of like your preference? Like, is it soil straight into the medium, paper towel, or the glass of water method?
Man, I'm a straight into the soil kind of guy personally.
Yeah.
I've done the paper towel, I've done the glass of water, I've put them in rock wool.
All
I
that
like,
shit.
if the soil is moist enough, I feel like you have the least amount of you do it in a paper towel, you got to be so careful when you're transplanting it because you don't want to break that taproot.
Yeah.
I can be a little heavy handed sometimes. So I'm like, I want to get it right in the little 2-inch pot. That's why I use a 2-inch pot. I usually
Yeah.
use straight cocoa to be quite honest. It seems like I have the best success with that. You can really feed, you can
Cocoa has
see
changed
as
my
it's
life,
drying.
man. I actually copped a bag of cocoa from you guys, and that shit changed my life, bro. Like I was a full living soil guy, but now I'm starting to incorporate cocoa more and more, man. Like I fully veg in cocoa now and shit. Like you got to
Dude,
do it.
it's easy and plants
Yeah.
love it. They take off, Living
Fast
soil.
AF, bro. Like I
Living soil is
transplanted
awesome.
1 week, next 2 weeks, I got to transplant again. I was like, man, this wasn't happening when I was in that soil, bro.
Well, the cocoa, it's like you almost see the roots almost like
Yeah.
they don't eat the cocoa, but it consumes the cocoa. When you take a
Yeah.
rooted plant out, you're like, what happened to all the
Only
soil in
beautiful
here?
white roots, bro. Literally.
Exactly.
I love it. It's
Yeah, if you're
crazy.
not on cocoa, man, get on
Give it a
cocoa to
try.
everybody out there because that stuff is awesome.
Hell yeah, man. Okay, now the next one, man. This is a little bit of controversial one, and it's fems or regs. Are you a fem guy or a reg guy?
Man, traditionally, I've always been a red guy for sure.
Got you.
But same thing with like the autoflowers. I've had my mind changed. I've grown fems now that rock just like autos. But
Yeah.
the main thing I would say is when you're doing autos, you cannot take cutting after cutting after cutting off of different
Yeah.
lineage of the same plant. You're gonna get that genetic drift, and you're not gonna be stoked at what happens. But that first time out the gate, crush
Just
it. Even the
can't
first couple
change.
times.
Yeah, and that's something interesting that you actually mentioned, man. And I think I is I mentioned that to someone and they said, no, man, you're talking a bunch of shit. But I think clonal degradation is actually something that is a real thing, like, and
Yeah, man. I
happens.
mean, I've seen it firsthand, and like, they don't really change much in the system. And after 3, 4 years of running like something that started as a fem,
Yeah.
you'll see it start to get different bud structure and not be like a true clone
Yeah.
from like a feminized plant. I mean,
Yeah.
from a non-feminized plant.
Pretty
But
interesting, man. And yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, next question though, dry trim or wet trim? What's your preference when it comes to that, man?
how
That's
much are you
super
trimming?
controversial.
How much are you trimming and how much space you got? you know,
Good question. Good
if
good
if
one.
it's me, it's dry trim all day. You
Yeah.
know, it just seems like you get to preserve the smell. I like to hang the plant upside down. You get the little comb, like the little hood over the bud, and it just seems like that's the way it should be preserved.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, some situations call for wet trim. You can sure trim a lot quicker wet, especially if you're like in a machine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like dry trim. I like to use a machine. I like to use like a low impact tumbler just to get some of the big buds off and then go back in by hand. But
Interesting, man.
it
Does that
depends on how
tumbler
big you're
like
doing.
take any of those trichomes off or anything? Like, does it affect anything?
It probably does a little bit, but like I said, if I was harvesting, the 5 plants in my backyard, I'd probably trim it by hand.
Okay.
Dry it, hang it in the closet,
But
break it
with
into
that
pieces.
numbers, that sheer mass quantity
You
of
got to,
plants.
you
Yeah.
got to. And I'm also a big proponent of like keeping the plant as intact as you can when you cut it down.
Yeah.
Big, huge outdoor plants, you can't do that. But indoor plants, I'll cut them in half and hang both pieces. It seems like I don't know, the water, the way that it dries through the stalk, and it's kind of like preserving that moisture a little bit more, you know?
Got you. Yeah, interesting. That's so true though, and I personally found that like it's super important when it comes to that. Like you can mess up on other stuff during your grow, like overfeeding here and there. Once it's not fatal, but the dry and cure really makes or breaks it, man. So you guys got to
100%.
dry and cure properly.
For
Now the
sure.
next one, dude, is bong or joint. How do you consume your flower? What's your preference?
Oh man, I'd probably say depends on where I am. If I'm out in public, I'm smoking joints. If I'm at home,
Yeah.
I'm probably ripping a bong.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it
Okay.
goes both ways. If I'm on a golf course, I'm probably smoking a Puffco and a pipe.
I
Like,
like that. I like that. Man, I love the golf course too, man. Okay, but now
yeah,
say
yeah.
you got no utensils, dude, like nothing, right? You ain't got no papers, you ain't got your bong, you ain't got a pipe, but you got a Coke can that you can make an old school pipe out of, or you got a bottle that you can make a gravity bong out of, just like the old school days. What you gonna do?
Oh, I'm going gravity bong. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Fuck that other Coke can, right?
Yeah, yeah. If I'm in that situation, I'm trying to get high, man. I'm gonna go full straight to the dome.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree. I did that gravity bong a few times, man, and had a few homies hit that, and man, they got blitzed, bro. And it was like some real like shit weed, like Mexican brick weed almost, but it was from the Caribbean, so we call it colo.
Yeah, yeah,
It was real
yeah.
bad,
Yeah,
so
it
he
probably
got
gets
ripped.
you. Yeah, dude. When we were in high school, we used to do like hash hits, like with that, and they would just wreck you, dude. 2 liter bottle. Just get it cherried and just keep going.
Yeah, toss you out the whole next
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, anyway, man. Okay, the next one though, when it comes to your mulchies, dude, your munchies, right? You're super high. You just ripped that gravity bong, and you're going into the kitchen looking for something to munch on. Are you going salty or sweet?
Salty, probably salty, maybe followed by sweet. Maybe some like
Okay.
crackers, and then like grab some cookies too.
Yeah. He
Mix them
ain't
both.
picking one thing up, man. He picking up two, three things, and we gotta finish this after have that first, man. I'm the same way, dude. Honestly, I like something salty first and then something sweet after.
That
So
variety, or fresh
yeah,
fruit, man. Fresh fruit's great too.
yeah, good point.
A little
Actually,
fruit
I think
medley
they say
bowl.
like certain fruit like cuts you high and shit like that.
I don't know if
Like,
I've
is it
ever. I've
mango or
heard that, but
something?
shit, man. I'm smoking enough. Nothing's gonna get that high.
I like that, man. Okay, now for someone like you, and probably me as well, who smokes so fucking much, dude, like you can only smoke once tomorrow, right? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna wake and bake, or are you gonna do a nightcap?
I'd probably do a nightcap over the wake and bake. My younger days, it would be wake and bake all day. But
Yeah,
as
rise
you
and
get older,
shine,
you
right?
get more responsibilities, and it's like if I'm high right from the beginning. If I'm going snowboarding though, I'll probably choose the wake and bake. You know,
Yeah, I got you. I
'Cause
got you. This is a smart guy. He's got options. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah, options
Oh man, that's dope. Okay, well, that's it on the Know Your Bud segment, man. And I really enjoyed it, man. It helped me get to know you a little bit better, and I'm sure everyone else, man. So
for sure.
much respect, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun.
Hell yeah, man. Now we actually got a couple questions that did come in from the ICANN fam over on Patreon, man. And I really did want to answer these because, you know, the ICANN fam on Patreon, man, they show so much love. And like I always say, guys, the ICANN channel is not monetized. So you guys' support really helps us to go a long way to produce more content, man. So all your love and support, really appreciate it. Now, this question comes in from St. Nick, and he's asking, what's the best way to feed plants that you're growing specifically for seeds? Now, that's an
Uh-oh.
interesting one.
Oh,
Oh,
you there?
yeah, I'm
Oh,
here.
oh,
Can
we're
you hear
here.
me?
Sorry, it was glitching again. Yeah, you said you asked what the best nutrient for growing seeds.
Yeah, growing. Yeah, what's the best way to feed plants you're growing specifically for seeds?
I mean, I would feed them real similar to the way I would normally. You want the healthiest plant to get the healthiest seed.
Yeah,
You know, I know some people think silica, more silica, you get a stronger seed, stronger shell on the seed. I
yeah,
I don't have anything to say that goes counterpart to that,
yeah,
but I would say yeah, the healthier the plant, the healthier the seed. You don't want to stress your plant out too much. You don't want to, you know, you
yeah.
don't want your plant to be under stress and then get a bunch of white seeds.
Yeah, that's so true as well. Because, like, you know, it's really important that your plant stays healthy no matter what you're doing to it, whether the goal is to get flower at the end of it, whether the goal is to, you know, have a plant that creates hash, or what the case is, you want your plant to be healthy. So you got to give it what it needs and when it needs it, right?
For sure, for sure. And like I've seen people that are like, "Oh, my plants weren't looking great, and I ended up getting seeds. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Dude, throw those seeds away. Like that's not, if you're
Yeah,
not trying to get seeds and you get seeds, probably not the best situation.
yeah,
Unless you're like in a big outdoor field and there was a female plant that got through and started. If you know where it came from,
yeah.
worth to track it down. But if you don't,
Don't fuck around, bro. Yeah, I got you. And something
yeah,
else that I think a lot of people have, you know, been dropping questions on some of my older videos recently is about seeds that come from hermy plants. You know, those plants that throw off nanners, and then you harvest it and you grab some seed from it. People are asking, you know, should I go back and plant those seeds? Does it make sense, or should I just toss them? Would those seeds exhibit hermy traits as well? And what would you say?
I'm always under the belief that yeah, if it came from a hermit plant, it's going to be a hermit plant. It's
Yeah,
like it takes a long time, as you would know, to take a seed all the way through and even to grow it one time, let alone, get a
yeah,
couple different lines down the road. And
yeah,
just to be wasting that time, I like to know exactly what I'm working with, you know.
yeah. And
And
it's a
and
lot
like
about
I
like
said,
not wasting that time too, right?
dude, it can take a year, and then after that, you end up with a whole hermit crop, and you're like,
Yeah.
maybe that $200 pack of seeds looks a little better then.
Yeah, so true now, man.
Yeah,
Like, and that's what a lot of people try to do. Like, sometimes you just got to pay for the quality, man. You know, don't cut corners, don't cut costs. And that's what I try to always hook up the guys in the ICANN VIP Bean Club with. You guys get genetics from tons of breeders. You know, like, I don't go to big banks of just trying to, like, you know, chuck a bunch of shit at you, throw names on random genetics and call it different shits. Like, you know, we're always trying to hook you guys up with good stuff, whether it's regs, fems, autos, no matter what the case is, man.
for
And
sure.
I think that that's just fantastic, dude. Now, one thing I did see that just came in was an interesting point, actually, which is nitrogen throughout for better viability. And I'm not sure if that's really in relation to the seed making, but someone else mentioned this to me recently, and that's sort of why I brought it up because I've been, you know, cutting down a little bit on the nitrogen in the plants throughout the flowering stage, as you know, you really should. But I've noticed that in the cocoa, they're a little bit more nitrogen hungry. So when it comes to actually, you know, feeding plants in cocoa, have you noticed any difference as compared to like soil or something like that? Should people go in a little bit harder with their nutrients? Maybe especially CalMag?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, to throw out flour, you want to wean the nitrogen off, and a lot of these companies now are coming out with like late bloom products.
Yeah,
Like Athena's got Fade that they take the nitrogen out because your plants really don't need it there at the end.
yeah,
Um, I've honestly never bred for seeds. Like I've done a lot of other stuff in the cannabis industry. That's one that I really haven't.
yeah.
I got friends that are terrific breeders and stuff. Maybe that's why I haven't, just because I've had them as a
True.
resource.
Yeah,
But like, um, I don't know, the seeds and clones thing too. Like I've always been a big like genetic clone guy. If I know what I'm buying, I want to
yeah,
buy that and I want to keep it in my, stable of whatever I have. And I'm never
yeah,
trying to really grow too much too. I
yeah,
know I've offended some seed growers in the past because I'm like, yo, why wouldn't you? They're like, oh, it's offensive to buy a $2,500 cut. You're like, yeah, but if that cut is what they're saying it is, and I'm gonna turn it into X, like it
yeah,
ain't bad at all.
yeah. I
Offensive is me
personally, dude, I
wasting my
think
whole
I like
year.
that. I agree. I agree with you, man. The certainty, man, it just can't be beat, dude. Because right now, my main goal is to find keeper cuts, dude. Like I've been popping tons of beans, and some of the genetics I like. Some of them I grow these plants, dude. And I spent all this time, effort, and at the end, I'm just not satisfied. Not to say the plant's not fire, dude, because the plant is fire, but it's just not a terpene profile that's to my liking. Not something that I really like
Yeah,
the taste
yeah.
of. It's subjective shit.
And
That
those
type of shit.
keeper cuts, man, that people are popping 2,000 seeds. I
Yeah.
don't have space to pop that many seeds.
Literally, bro.
And they're
And they
keeping
they find
one
the phenotype that fucking works, and I can run with it.
for sure. I respect that too. I respect both of it. It's fun to do a pheno hunt. It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun. But
it's a
like,
lot of
it's
fun.
if you're trying to run a business, it's not the way to run a business. You
Yeah,
know?
for sure. And even like just home growers who are growing at home and have plant limits, dude. Like they can't
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
200 beans. Like
No, you can plant the six.
yeah, literally,
Yeah.
just plant your six and see what you got. And even like someone like me, if I'm trying to adhere to plant limits and I want to try a bunch of different strains, you end up popping like two of this, one of that, two of that, and at the end of it, you got a bunch of strains and none of them really liked, man. So
Yeah. But then that's the thing, is the flip side. Sometimes you get that one and it just hits. You
fire,
know?
yeah. That
You
one
know,
turns out to be the keeper. So for me, I've got a few keepers right now. Like that Slurricane is super dear to my heart, man.
Hurricane's
And
fire.
I
Yeah.
love that one, dude, and a couple others, man. But I'm really just trying to find those keepers, and I think that's what it's all about: finding something that you like and you're happy with, right?
Oh yeah, same thing with like me and my friend group. There's
Yeah.
probably 10 keepers between them, but everyone's growing Obama runs right now.
Oh,
It's like it's
a
shit's
version
just
of the rents
flame.
again, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, but
It's that or like
those
a
runts I
sour
think
garlic
are
cookies.
supposed to be fire though. How's that one? Is it smelling like
Oh,
gas?
dude, it smells like you opened up a pack of runts, but someone like dropped it in some diesel. It's like
Diesel
it's gross. Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit, man! As Hillbilly Herb says, man, every plant is like a song. Some songs are universally loved or hated, but we all like different stuff. 100 strain challenge. See what you like.
For sure.
And a
You
strain
got to,
challenge,
man.
bro. See what you like. See what the fuck you like.
You got to, man. Like I'm picky. Like, I see 100 weeds and there'll be like 10 of them. I'm like, that's what I like. Doesn't mean
Yeah,
the other ones are bad. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
yeah.
It's
And then you will take that same strain that you like and show it to someone else, and they'll smell it and be like, I don't really like this one, dude. This
yeah,
one's not
not for
really fully
me.
my
Yeah, yeah,
jam, but I can see why you like it though.
yeah. That white truffle. Whoever just commented that stuff is terrific, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm looking forward to trying that one, man, and cut for 50.
Hey,
But
dude,
anyway,
that's well worth it.
yeah, man, for sure. I've seen cuts go for way more than that, man. That's why I tell everyone the I Can VIP Bean Club guys, like the cost that you guys are paying to get some of these genetics, man, it all works out. It pays back for itself 10 times over by the time you harvest one plant, and plus you get much more perks than just beans, man. So join
For
up and show
sure.
some love. Now before we actually close off, man, I just wanted to swing back real quick to the showdown, dude. Tell us a little bit about where it's going to be at, what the date is, and what everyone can expect when they turn up, man. So for
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people
So
who haven't copped any tickets, like tell them why they need to come.
yeah. So the showdown, we do it. We call it invite only, but anybody can get an invitation as
Yeah.
long as they're competing.
Okay.
We do have a little wiggle room sometimes for that, especially for industry people that want to come. People in between harvests, always reach out to us and ask.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's going to be on October 21st. Hope to see you there as always.
Yeah.
Um,
Must.
like I said,
Yeah.
I think this time we're shooting for about 100 entries. Last time we had 47.
Yeah.
So we're getting bigger every time. We've already had a bunch of heat come in. I'm sure over the next like 7 days we're gonna get a lot more. We do
Yeah.
everybody that comes gets a pipe, lighter, stuff like that, a little score book this time we're giving out so you can judge stuff based off of smell, look, all sorts,
Sweet.
kind of keep track of your records, and
Yeah.
then also go back at the end of the event and go be like, hey, I really like that number 62.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go find who's got the 62 and see if I can trade him a cut. That's the whole point of this thing, is the networking.
Yeah, that is so fucking dope, bro. And honestly, that's something that I think you will be nice to like look back on in the future. You've been going to these events, and it's always nice to have a little piece of memorabilia and having something I can look back and be like, oh shit, while I just pick up my ticket, my notice of violation from Denver. Anyway, but you can just look back and be like, oh my gosh, like I remember looking back and that strain, this strain, and it's just always nice to look back and remember that shit, bro. Like that's fucking
Dude,
dope to me.
for sure. And like we didn't have it at the last one. We gave people paper, but we're like, hey, this time let's make our own little
Yeah.
score book so people can keep track of it. because that's what we want to do is, you know, get
Yeah, and you can
everybody
keep those
involved.
scorebooks, right? Or do you have to like
Oh yeah,
submit
no,
those
no,
scorebooks
everyone's
and
there.
shit?
No, everyone's there. That's for you, you know.
Got you.
And
Yeah.
we hope people go back and when we re-release who grew them all, because it takes us a little bit of time to get all that together. You
Yeah.
know, that you go back and you go look through your notes and say number 2, number 16, and number, you know,
Yeah.
43, and then you can go say, oh shit, that was from a cut above, or you know, that one's from, you know, cherry, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna go down to their dispensary and see if I can't get the cut, buy the
Yeah.
weed, you know.
And sometimes a lot of these growers that submit some of these entries, like, you know, shout out to everyone that's always competing in these competitions. They're just small home growers, you know, small home
Yeah, oh
growers
yeah,
like everyone in the chat right now. And they'll be more than happy to hook you guys up with a cut, man. A lot of people love to trade
dude.
cuts. You know, granted, there's that HPLV, hoplite and void virus shit going
Yeah, yeah.
around, but you just got to be careful. But nonetheless, people love sharing the love. That's my point.
Dude, there were 2 home growers that took second and third last time, you know?
Fucking
So it's
hell.
like, it's all, we like to include everybody so if people can really come together and like, you know, and maybe
Yeah.
there's going to be a commercial facility that wants your cut because it's good,
Yeah,
you know?
for
It all
sure.
goes around.
All of a sudden, the tables are turned and the commercial growers are coming to ask the home growers for their cuts, bro.
Exactly.
That's what's up, man. I love that. But as Mrs. K Garden says, sounds just like it will be a blast. Wish you could make it. If you can't make it, definitely tune into their Instagram pages. I'm sure they'll have a lot of content to be posting on there for you guys, as they always do, man. And it definitely will be a blast. So if you're out here in Colorado, try to head over there, try to link up and see if you guys can head down there, man. And yeah, dude, I think we've touched on a lot of great things, man. A lot of great things. The showdown is going to be fucking epic. There's going to be so many great things going on that you guys have as well. And I think we touched on a lot of questions when it comes to like nutrients and how people can, you know, get their stuff going. But for everyone that wants to get in touch with you guys, man, and find out, you know, what you guys got going on, maybe head out to the next showdown or see what else events you guys got going. You guys had Need for Seeds recently, guys. You guys have a
Oh yeah,
tons
we'll
of
do
events
that again.
going on.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Need
tell
for
us
Seeds
where they
was
can get
cool
in
as
touch with you
shit,
guys.
man.
Need for Seeds was dope, bro.
Yeah. You can follow us as like social media, cultivate_supply,
Yeah.
YouTube. Our YouTube channel has hundreds of videos. We're filming more this weekend, especially if you have questions about irrigation projects, questions, and we do everything from take a pump apart, put it back together, show you how to connect a button, you know, anything you could imagine. As well as a bunch of really good information on mycology. I know mycology mushrooms are booming right now. We carry a ton of products in the store, online, bunch of how-to videos, as well as just good content from around the store, you know.
For sure. And I love seeing the content from around the store, man. Like straight up, you guys have got some great content. Everyone is always working hard in the store behind the scenes, man. So you guys definitely give them a follow, man. They got some great content. And like I said, they're just a bunch of friendly guys showing love, a great company doing some even better things, man. So follow them on Instagram, show some love, and let them know the ICANN fam is over there supporting and showing love, man. And that's what's up.
Awesome.
Hell yeah. Man, well, thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us, man. You had some great input, some great advice for all the growers, and just chatting about the showdown, man. It was fucking dope, and I'm looking forward to
thanks for having
me.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, anytime. Really appreciate it.
Most definitely, man. So, guys, smash that like before you guys head out. Let's see how many likes we can get. And most importantly, stay high and stay motherfucking fly. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Hey,
Peace,
have a good one, y'all.
Finish him.